Hi everyone, my name is Kay and we're getting here together for noon lunchtime yoga for beginners. And let's see, yeah. So I'm gonna wait a few more minutes, not a few more minutes, a few more moments to see if anyone else comes on. The internet connection was a little spotty this morning. We'll see what happens now. If for some reason this is too spotty for you, then you can always tune in later and watch the YouTube video. Before we get started, just maybe a few things for you to gather if you don't have it already. So blankets in any size, shape, form. Could also be a big beach towel. That's just helpful to have by, so you can put this under your knees if your knees are sensitive, or also later we can sit on it. If you have a set of yoga blocks nearby, take them. Not all people have yoga blocks. A nice way to substitute yoga blocks, we can have books. So yoga blocks, what they basically do is they just bring the floor closer, right, to our hands. And a way to substitute this is, I just took some hand towels here and I folded them and I rolled them up like this, right? And then we can put them on the floor and hold them on our hands. You can have a second set of hand towels, put it on top. And then you can actually do this under both hands, and then you can play with the height. You can remove one towel as you go forward, or you can remove both. So these are just a few substitutes if you don't have a set of blocks handy. So I'm going to move back here on my mat. And I'm going to sit on my folded blanket. You can, if you have a blanket or a pillow or a towel nearby, or maybe if you have blocks or books. So the idea is that we raise our hips above our knees, which gives us more access to our rib cage and to our spine, to elongate the spine here, right? So we're going to take a moment to sit in. This kind of shape of sitting may not be available to you, because that all depends on our anatomy and what is available to our bodies. So you can also simply have the legs a little bit more forward, bringing the soles of the feet together here. And then you hold on to your knees or your shins here, and you can sit up nice and tall. Another option, a good sitting posture, is you can come around on your knees. And I like to put like a blanket or block in between. And then you simply sit back between your heels or on your heels, right? And again, this gives you access to your rib cage to sit a little bit taller here. So I'm going to switch over to this, what we call easy seat. And yeah, how's it been? How's this first week of mostly being at home been? In my family, I have to tell you, in my family, the number one question we ask every day is, what are we going to eat today? And it's kind of been fun to play around with cooking, but also supporting some of the local restaurants and getting some takeout there. I guess we've all had a week behind us with doing something for the first time. A lot of people homeschool for the first time. Maybe doing a book club on Zoom for the very first time. For me, teaching a live class on Facebook for the first time. This is already number 3, but it's nerve-wracking, I can tell you that. So with that format, what I can't see and don't know is I do not know who's on the other side of this. So for some of you, this might be your very, very first yoga class ever, and welcome. I cannot read, I cannot see how the things we're doing are working for you and where you may have questions or troubles. So move along, try to do your best, and then please, 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 after the practice, use the comment section and give me feedback and also ask questions. If things were unclear, I'm happy to record another mini video for you, breaking some of the things down, explaining some of the things. You know, this is all for all of us, a learning by doing and learning as we go forward. If you have, that's another thing. I have a chair here nearby. So if you're somewhere, you have a wall nearby, a chair nearby, this can also be helpful to sort of give us something to hold on to when we're doing a little bit of balancing moves later. Let's see what else. Oh yes, very important, very, very important. We all come to this practice from a different place. We all need to listen to our bodies. So if some of the things we're doing are not accessible to your body because you may have some injuries or your body just may not want to go there, then do your body the favor and listen to your body here really well. With that being said, take a moment to wiggle around, finding your seat here, whether you're in this shape or on your knees. And then come a little bit taller through the spine, reaching through that center point of your crown of your head here. And then if you like to close your eyes, close your eyes. Or just have a soft gaze down into the floor to a spot in front of you here. And then take a moment and notice the flow of your breath. Don't change anything about your breath. Just really take a moment to notice how it flows in and how it flows out. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it fast? Is it slow? Maybe place a hand on your belly. Maybe you notice your belly slightly falling out as you inhale. Gently drawing back in as you exhale. If you hear some snoring sounds in the background, that's my cat sleeping on the bed happily. And then begin on your next exhalation, begin to make that exhalation a little bit longer and exhale fully. And let the breath float in. And exhale. So maybe your inhalations and your exhalations become a little bit longer. A little bit fuller. We can count inhaling 2, 3, exhaling 2, 3. Inhaling 2, 3, exhaling 2, 3. Inhale 2, 3. Exhale 2, 3. And keep doing this a couple more rounds, your own pace, your own counting. Just getting used to this elongation of the inhalation and the exhalation. And we're tuning into this practice of yoga. All it really is steadying the mind, calming the busyness of the mind, so that we have a bit of a glimpse of what lives behind this. What is this? Who is this? Who we really are. And we do this steadying of the mind simply by joining the movements of our body with our breath. And so we're giving our mind something to focus on, so that all these other thoughts can just go aside for a moment here. Take one more inhale. And then flutter the eyes open here and exhale out the mouth. And then from here, on the next inhale, tuck your chin to your chest so we get a little bit of a nice stretch on the back of the neck here. And then bring it back up to center. One more time. Inhaling, tucking the chin to the chest, exhaling. Inhale, come back up. And once more, exhaling here. And then stay here. Keep the chin tucked to your chest. And we lift our arms and we interlace our hands and place them on the back of the head, where the head meets our neck in that area. The elbows are out to the side. Inhale here. And as you exhale, draw the elbows in towards your head. And no need to pull on the neck. Just by drawing the elbows in, we create a little more gravity here, elongating the neck. Inhale, we lift the gaze back up, we open the elbows to the side, and then exhale, the arms come down to the side. And place your hands on your fingertips behind you, so the palms are facing forward, the shoulders are drawing back. As you inhale, very slowly, lift your gaze up. Exhale, bring it back forward. One more time, being mindful, doing this slowly as you inhale, tilting the head back, stretching the neck the other way. Exhaling, and forward here. And one last time, inhale, tilting back, exhale, bringing it forward. And bring the hands down to either side of your body. And then tilt your head towards your right shoulder here. But keep the shoulder away from shrugging up. Keep the shoulder down. Tilt your head here to the right side. And inhale, lift that right arm up and place that right hand onto your left ear here. Then tuck your chin to your chest and just give a little bit of a pull here, stretching that side part of your neck here. Inhaling, release the arm, the head comes back up. And then we switch it over to the other side. So now tilting towards the left shoulder. Inhaling, the left arm floats up and overhead, placing it on the ear. Slightly tucking the chin. Stretching along the outside of that right side of the neck. Inhaling, back to center. And then here, place that right hand on the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm up, reach towards the ceiling. And then lean over to the right side here, reaching, keep reaching through the fingertips. And here, you want to really ground your left hip down onto the mat. So you're creating space along the left side of your rib cage here. Inhaling, coming back up. And then we're switching sides. The left hand comes down onto the mat. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Reach, 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 reach through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, you bend that left elbow and you reach and lean over to the left. Reaching through the fingertips. Grounding that right hip down. Breathing into the space that you're creating on the right side of your rib cage here. Inhaling, and come back up. Then on your next inhale, you reach and raise the arms overhead. Reach them as high as you can. Shrug your shoulders up a little bit to your ears here. And then keep the hands lifted and the arms lifted, but relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let's do that again so we get a little bit of a feeling of what this feels like, what our body is doing here. Inhale, hug the shoulders to the ears, crunch them up. Exhale, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. One more time, inhale, reach up. And exhale, releasing them away. We keep the arms lifted. The left hand comes down and reaches diagonal to the outside of that right thigh. Inhale, reach a little bit taller. And on the exhale, bring the right arm back and place it on your low back. Place that hand on your low back. And then from here, inhale, reach a little longer through the spine, and as you exhale, you turn over your right shoulder. Coming into an easy twist here. Staying long through the spine, we use the in-breath to create length in the spine, and we use the out-breath to twist over the shoulder. On your next inhale, we come back to center, reaching both arms overhead. And then on the exhale, this time the right arm comes down, reaches for the outside of that left leg. Inhale, reach a little taller. Exhale, bringing the left hand to your low back. Inhale, sit tall. And as you exhale, twist over your left shoulder, looking over your left shoulder. Keep breathing. Getting taller on the in-breath. Getting a little deeper in the twist on the exhale. Inhale, we come forward. Reaching both arms up one more time. Exhale, the hands come to the hips. If you are kneeling, come and join us in this seat. We can switch the cross of the legs here for a moment. And then just begin some gentle hip circles here. From one side to the front, to the other side and back. Notice the sensations you feel in your body. Notice if there's any place where you feel you have to back off a little bit. But also notice, is it pain or is it just maybe a discomfort? And that's not always so easy to distinguish here. Switching directions in your circling here. And then coming back to center. And then here, lengthen the legs out in front of you. Now I'm going to turn around so you can actually see me from the side. So we lengthen the legs out. Have the hands next to your hips here. I'm on my fingertips. As I inhale, I sit up a little bit taller, creating some space in my rib cage along my spine. And then I'm flexing my feet here. I flex them, so I pull the toes towards me, that the heels actually come off the mat. Exhale, I release. Once more, inhale, I flex the toes, the heels come off the mat. Exhale, release. And then here I'm bending the knees, placing the feet on the mat. Lift the toes, so it's just the heels that are on the mat, and then place your hands on your knees here. You can have them slightly below your knees on your shins. Inhale, create some length. Sit up nice and tall here. And then keep that length and that space in your spine and begin to crawl your fingertips alongside your shins. So your spine doesn't collapse, but your spine stays long. And maybe you're not going all that far. Maybe this is where you go. Once you notice your spine, your back is rounding, then stop. It's important to have that straight back here. Maybe you reach your toes on one foot. And then switch sides, reaching for the toes on the other foot. Or maybe you're reaching the toes or the big toe on both feet here. And then once we're here, we can play. Maybe we can begin to slide one leg out a little bit more. And switching sides, sliding the other leg out, but always checking in with the spine. Is my spine still long? And then maybe walking both heels out a little bit more, right? So the goal here is not really that the legs are straight and we're folding really deep. The goal really is to create this sensation of length and space and breathe. Breathing into that space here. Okay. And then from here, we place the feet flat on the floor. And the hands are a little bit behind my hips and off to the side. And then I turn them around so the fingers are facing to the back. As we inhale, we push into the feet and into the hands and just slightly lift the hips off the mat here. And exhale, lower the hips back down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower them down. Inhale, lift and hold. And then maybe you lift them a little higher. Just check in with where you are here. Maybe we'll lift them all the way so we're in a reverse table here. Feel this in our shoulders. Engaging the core, engaging the muscles, the glutes a little bit. And then exhaling, lowering down. And then here, bring the knees to your forehead, lifting the feet off the mat here. And lower the feet down, and we lift up one more time, inhaling into that reverse table here. Maybe the head goes back. Just check in with your neck. I usually like to keep my chin tucked here because my neck doesn't like to tilt back like that. And then exhale, lower down. Bring the knees to the forehead one more time. And bring the knees back down. And from here we simply swing the knees to the side. And so we come around finding a table here on hands and knees. And this is the moment where you can break out your towel or your blanket. I always like to pad my knees a little bit. I have sensitive knees, so I like to have some extra padding underneath here. Then we're taking a moment to setting us up here. So the hands are lined under the shoulders. The knees are under the hips. The toes are untucked, so the tops of the feet are flat on the floor. And then take a moment and look through between your legs. Can you see between your legs? Can you see your toes or a little bit of your feet? And if you do, then play. What do I need to do to hide the toes behind my thighs so I can't see them if I look straight through? Then look back up. Then we fan the fingers on the mat as wide as we can. And here, to protect our wrists a little bit, your hands are flat on the mat, but you're beginning to push a little bit into those fingertips. So it's kind of like you're clawing a little bit into the mat, and that takes a little bit of the weight of the wrist here. And then from here, I'm going to come up. You can actually come up and join me here for a moment. So we're going to be on our shins here. And we're just going to look a little bit into, if we think about our tailbone and our pelvis, right? So when we're tucking the tailbone in, we're tilting the pelvis forward. And when we're sending the tailbone out, and we're tilting the pelvis back. So just try this up here a few times. This tucking, and this sending it back. So tilting the pelvis forward, tilting the pelvis back. Just be getting that range of motion here. Then we come back down onto hands and knees. And here we begin what we call cat-cows or cows-cat in yoga. And we begin this from the tailbone. So the tailbone leads our movement. So as we inhale, we tilt the tailbone up and out. And then we begin to arch the spine, sending the chest out and sending the gaze forward. And here we have our cow tilt. And as we exhale, Begin at the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone in first. Keep the head where it is. Then we begin vertebrae by vertebrae, rounding the spine and then tucking the chin in last, pushing the earth away with your hands here. One more time. The breath comes in, the tailbone tilts out, the spine begins to arch, the head comes up last. The exhale begins, the tailbone tucks in, the spine rounds, and the chin tucks to the chest. One more time, inhaling, tailbone tucks out, the spine arches and the head comes up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, spine rounds. And then on your next inhale, find that neutral table, so that neutral back, that neutral tabletop here. And from here, on your next inhale, you straighten that right leg out behind you. The toes are on the mat. And then take a moment here, just rock back and forth, just so you get into that feeling of where is your body here. And then keep pushing through that back heel. And shift your weight forward a little bit more so your shoulders are over your hands. And from here, inhale, we lift that leg up. Exhale, we lower it down. One more time, keeping the engagement in the leg, keep pushing through the heel. Engage your core, tuck your belly button in just slightly. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower it back down. One more time, inhale, lift that right leg up. And then you can stay here, or if you want to join me, you can peel that left hand off the mat and reach that left arm forward. This is where we have our bird dog here. We're reaching through the fingertips and through the heels. We're creating as much length as we can. Inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're bringing the elbow and the knee together underneath the body, tucking the chin in. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, knee and elbow together, tucking the chin. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, elbow and knee together. And then one more time, inhale, reach, reach, reach. And place the hand back down, place the knee back down. And here, come up for a moment. You can sit back on your heels, just squeeze. Squeeze your wrists here a little bit, okay? And then we come back to table, and now we do it on the other side. So this time, on the inhale, we send that left leg back, come onto the toes, and then again, shifting the weight to the front, to the back a few times. And pressing the heel back. But shift your shoulders slightly over your hands here. Keep the engagement, engage the core, tuck the belly button in a little bit. Then as you inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale, keep the length, keep pushing through the heel, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, and keep it lifted. Now peel that right hand off the mat and reach that right arm forward. Reach through the fingertips. Your gaze goes down onto the neck, so we're not straining the neck by looking up and forward, but we're gazing down at the mat here. Reaching through the heel, reaching through the fingertips here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee together, tucking, rounding. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round. You can also do this just with the leg. If the leg and arm is too much, you want to take a break, you can simply do this, just moving the leg, and then you can switch and just move the arm as well. All right, we came back to table here. And from here, we're sinking back into child's pose. And child's pose is where we bring the hips to the heels, reach the arms long, and bring the forehead to the mat. And your hips might not reach to your heels all the way. So here's again where we can bring a towel in, or we can tuck a towel under here and just help us a little bit finding comfort in this child's pose here, bringing the forehead to the mat here. Breathing. Imagine you're sending that breath up along the back, along your spine. From your tailbone, you breathe in all the way along the spine to the back of the head, and as you exhale, you send that breath back down towards the tailbone here. And then from here, walk your hands over to the right and place your left hand on top of the right. And sink that left hip back. And breathe into the stretch of the side body here on the left side. Inhale, you walk the hands through the center and over to the left side. Place the right hand on top of the left. Sinking that right hip back here. Inhaling. And back to center. And we come up onto hands and knees here. And you tuck the toes under. You can sit back here for a moment. I'm removing my blanket from the mat, so I have a little bit of space to move here. And then as we're sitting up here, I always like to sprinkle in a little bit of yoga philosophy, and the one word I would like to introduce you today is ahimsa. And ahimsa means non-harming, non-hurting, non-violence. And I guess we're all practicing this right now by staying in our homes and not harming our own health and the health of others. But on the yoga mat, we also practice ahimsa by really listening to your bodies and listening to how far, what does my body allow me to do? Just be kind and gentle to your body here. So we have the hands once more under the shoulders. We have the toes tucked on the mat. And then here the hips go towards the heels. We push into the hands, and then from here we'll lift the knees off the mat. We lift the hips up, and we find this first downward facing dog here. And then this takes a moment to adjust. Maybe take your feet really wide. Take your feet all the way to the outside of the mat, and just notice how this probably gives you much more space and a little bit of a relief in your hamstrings here. And then also notice, if you feel your downward facing dog in your shoulders a lot, shift the weight back. So the idea is for your tailbone and your hips to go up and back. And that way you shift the weight out of your shoulders here. And then just begin to walk your dog a little bit, bending one leg, straightening it, bending the other leg. Just playing around with it here for a moment. And we can always come back down to our knees in between. Give our wrists a little bit of a squeeze. Downward facing dog takes practice, and we need to come back to it over and over again. It does not immediately feel relaxing. Took me a long time to get to the point where I could say, oh, this is actually relaxing. So come back, place the hands down. And try it once more, lifting the hips up, shifting the weight back. And then bring your awareness to your shoulders. Shrug your shoulders to your ears here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, just release the shoulders away from the ears. Create some space here. One more time. Inhale, hug the shoulders to the ears. Exhale. relaxing them away from the ears. Then from here, you lift the heels, you bend the knees, and just begin to walk your hands back to your feet here. Your knees are bent, your legs are bent, and we just hang low here. The head hangs low, shaking the head gently, no, shaking the head gently, yes. Okay. And then you can hold on to opposite elbows as you hang here. You can begin to maybe straighten your legs a little bit more in this forward fold. If you want to learn some Sanskrit, Uttasana is the term for this fold. Sorry, it's Uttanasana, not Uttasana. Uttanasana. And then let the hands hang down, and then we slowly, vertebra by vertebra, we just roll up all the way to standing here. Alright, and the hands come out, the palms are slightly facing forward here, just slightly. And we are, ta-da, standing, mountain pose, Tadasana. And take a moment to really look at how we are standing here. I'm just going to turn around for a moment so you can see this. So our feet are about as wide as our hips. And especially we women, for some reason, always have the tendency to take the feet wider than our hips. Our hips aren't that wide really, so they are about as wide as the hips. The toes are facing forward, so the feet are parallel. Okay. Then you roll the shoulders up and back. You create length in the spine. You reach through that crown of the head here. Your hands are slightly forward. And then take a moment and feel into your feet here. Push the mounds of the toes into the mat. And push the balls of the feet into the mat. The toes slightly lift. And shift the weight back and push the heels into the mat. Lean to the right side. Activate these outer and inner edges, leaning to the other side. And find your center here. Standing nice and tall in mountain pose. We're at the back, at the end of our mat. And we're beginning a slow walk to the front of the mat. So we inhale, we bring the palms to touch and rest the knuckles of the thumbs against our sternum here, that bony part on our chest. As you inhale, peel that left leg off the mat. Exhale, place the heel down, roll over the entire foot, peel the back heel up. Inhale, lifting the right foot. Exhale, placing it down, peeling the back heel up. Inhale, and exhale. And one more time, inhale, lifting the right leg. And exhale, placing it down. This was a mini walking meditation. This is actually something you can do anytime during the day. Just get up and walk around a little bit. So here we are in mountain pose. The hands come down to the side. You inhale, you lift up. The palms come to touch overhead. You can't see this right now. Exhale, I begin to draw the palms down along the midline of the body and begin to fold forward here. Folding forward here. And then as we inhale, walk your hands up your legs and then take your thumbs and place them in the hip creases here so your fingers are standing back. As you inhale, you lift your upper body about parallel to the floor, reaching forward through the crown of the head. Then on the next inhale, draw the elbows towards each other so you feel your shoulder blades drawing towards each other on your back. As you exhale, wing the elbows back out and round your upper back here a little bit. Once more, inhaling, drawing the shoulder blades together. Exhaling, rounding. Inhale, draw the elbows and shoulder blades together. Stay here and then begin to walk your fingertips down your legs. placing them on your shin. Inhaling, reaching through the crown of the head and reaching back with the tailbone. Exhale, fold forward. And then from here, I like to use blocks under my hands or maybe towels under your hands, either side, just to create a little bit more height here. As you inhale, you step back with your left leg. And take a moment to shift your weight to the front and back, creating some length here. And then find stillness, pushing through the back heel. Inhale. Exhale, lower that back knee down to the ground. And then place your right hand on your right thigh, place the left hand on the left thigh and come up. And then from here, you take the hands to the hips here a little bit. And then sink into that front knee a little more. And then as you inhale, you just play with drawing that right hip back a little bit. So you pull the right hip back and you draw the left hip forward so your hips become square to the mat here. Right? Keep doing this a few times just to get this range of motion here going. And then keep that pull of the front hip back. Engage in your core. Inhale, we reach the arms up overhead. We reach to the ceiling. And as you exhale, you open the arms out to cactus arms here, bringing them to the side, opening the chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw the arms down. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, draw them down. And inhale, bring the hands back to the blocks or back to the mat. And just step this right knee back to meet the left and sink back into a child's pose here. Inhale, we come back up to table. Exhale, and then we begin a couple of rounds of cows and cat. Beginning at the tailbone, inhale, tilting it back, arching the spine, sending the gaze forward. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. Chin. One more time. Inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. Find your neutral table. We tuck the toes under. Inhale and we lift up to a downward facing dog here. And then from here, there are different ways of how we can step this one leg forward. And we can do this by lifting the left leg. And then on the exhale, step it through between the hands. But that might not be accessible. We might have to help our leg forward, and that's okay. Or we can also come down onto our knees. Inhale, lift that left leg. And then from here, we have a little bit more range of motion to step it through. Once we're here, we can slide that back knee back a little bit. Hands on thighs, rising up. And then here, the tilt, this time we're pulling the left hip back. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the mat or to blocks. Lifting that back knee. And then stepping that foot in. Folding forward. Inhale, lifting halfway, these fingertips on the shins. Exhale, fold. And then here, soften the knees. Inhale, rise up all the way to standing, reaching the arms overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, draw the hands down along the midline. And to the side, Tadasana. We do this all on the other side, one more round. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw the hands down the midline, fold forward here. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Finding blocks if you use them. And then this time, on the inhalation, we step back with the right leg. Pushing through the heel, creating length, lowering the knee down. Hands on the other thigh, rising up. Drawing the hips square. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, and maybe leaning back a little bit. Exhaling, elbows to the waist. Inhale, reach. And exhaling, hands come down on blocks. And then here, we bring the left knee next to the right knee and sink back into child's pose, Balasana here for a moment. As you inhale, rise back up to table. Exhale, neutral table. Inhale, tucking the pelvis back, sending the gaze up. Exhale, the tailbone tucks in, rounding the spine. One more time, inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling to neutral table. And then we tuck the toes under, and from here we find our downward facing dog. Your heels do not need to be on the mat. They can hang here heavy. You can have your knees bent. You can have the legs wide. You can even have your hands on hooks or towels or blocks that could make it a little bit easier here. And then from here, we find our way, maybe lowering down onto the knees. Inhaling, lifting that right leg, and then exhaling, just stepping it through between the hands. Rising up. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhaling, opening the chest, bringing the elbows to the waist. Inhale, reach high. Exhaling, hands to the floor. Lift that back knee, step it in, and fold here, hanging here for a moment. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way to standing. And exhale, bringing hands to the heart. And then down by your side. Before we move on to the floor, I just want to show you real quick. So if you have, and this is something you can also practice throughout the week at home. I have a chair here, right? It could be a chair or a small table or stool. So you can begin to condition your body into downward facing dog by just having your hands on the chair. Then stepping back here, and then you can lower down here, sending the hips up and back. And just getting used to this notion here, getting the shoulders a little bit more conditioned. This can be a nice alternative, or also it's a nice shoulder release here. You can do the same thing standing on a wall. It's a little bit different. Going to see me from, I can actually stand against the door here. So you just push against the wall and you step back. And you lean in here a little bit. You can bring the hands a little bit lower, right? This isn't quite the V shape of the downward facing dog, but again, it's a great way of just getting your body into these different shapes here. So from here, we're lowering our way down. We're at the top of the mat. We inhale, we reach the arms high. One more time, the palms come to touch. Exhale, draw the hands down the midline, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And then simply soften the knees. Step back on one knee, then on the other. Swing the legs out to one side or the other and bring your seat down on the floor. And here we're sitting. The feet are flat on the mat. We have the legs bent. And then you just reach behind your thighs, so to the inside of your knees. And you inhale, you pull yourself really, really nice and tall. Getting ready for boat pose. Maybe this is your boat pose. Maybe from here you lift one arm out and then the other arm out. You just use your core strength and all your muscles along your back and your side body to really hold yourself up here. Right? you want to take this a little further, you can bring the hands behind the thighs once more, pulling yourself tall and then lifting one leg. The shins are parallel to the floor, leaning back a little bit, but keeping your back straight, and then lifting the other leg and balancing yourself here in both poses. And then here you can play. You can reach one arm out. You can reach the other arm out and just bring it back in. You can bring one foot down and practice reaching the arms out, keeping the legs straight, the back straight. You can bring that foot down, lift the other foot, reaching the arms out. Right? So take it a little bit playful here. And bring the feet back down. Hug your knees, tuck your forehead to your knees here. And then bring your hands once more behind your legs and then lower yourself all the way down onto your mat here. Lengthening out all the way. Then slide the feet in a little bit closer to your buttocks here. Once more, the feet are standing parallel. The arms are alongside your body. My palms are touching the mat, so my palms are facing down. And as I inhale, I press into my feet and my hands and I lift my hips a little bit off the mat here. Exhale, lower them down. One more time, inhale, lifting them into bridge pose here. And exhale, lower them down. You can continue doing that movement. Or inhale, lift the hips, and then we also lift the arms up and overhead and place them down on the floor behind us. Exhale, the hips lower and the arms come back around. Once more, inhale, lifting the hips, reaching the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lowering the hips down, bringing the arms down. And one more time, inhale, lifting. And maybe hold here for a moment, keeping the arms reaching, keeping the hips lifted here. And breathe. Relax your jaw. Check in. Are you clenching your teeth? I'm a teeth clencher, so I always have to remind myself of not clenching my teeth. Relaxing the jaw, a little smile around the eyes here, and then exhaling, bringing the hips down, bringing the hands down along your body. And here just bring your knees into your chest, hug them with your arms. Roll a little bit from side to side, massaging that low back here. And place the feet back down on the mat and place them a little bit wider almost to the outer edges of your mat here. Moving the block out of the way so you can see. You inhale, and as you exhale, drop your knees to the right. And then here, my arms, you can lengthen them out to the side, or maybe even bend them, cactus arms, the palms are facing up. Your face can look up straight to the ceiling. You can look over to the right of your knees, or to the other side. Breathing into that twist here. Inhaling, bringing the knees back up to center. Staying here for a moment, always giving our spine a chance to reset between these twists. One more inhalation. And then as you exhale, let the knees drop over to the left side. Switching where you want your arms to be, maybe lengthen them out. And checking in where your neck wants to be, looking to the left, looking up, or looking to the right here. Inhale, bring the knees back up. And then here we're finding happy baby. So we're lifting the feet off the mat. And then with our hands, we're reaching. We can reach for with our index finger and our middle finger for the big toe here. We can also reach for the outer edges or the inner edges of our feet with our hands, keeping the legs bent. And then we're just rolling around here, massaging our low back. You can straighten one leg, maybe stretching it out a little bit. And then switching sides here. And one more time, straightening one leg out. We're just playing here a little bit. And then from here, release your arms to your mat, release your legs long to your mat, and we're finding our final resting pose, Shavasana. Take a few moments to adjust what you need to adjust here. I sometimes like to have a pillow or maybe a blanket or a towel roll under my knees here. Right? Maybe you want to cover yourself with a blanket here. Just take a moment to make the adjustments. Close your eyes if that feels good. Or just soften your gaze as you look up to the ceiling. And then begin at the top of your head, checking in. Relax just a little bit more. Soften the area around the eyes. Maybe put a little smile to the outside of your eyes. Soften your cheeks. Relax your jaw. Part the teeth. And travel down to your shoulders. Can you relax your shoulders a little bit more? Feel your shoulders get heavy. Your right arm gets heavy and really sinks a little bit deeper. It's almost like we're lying on sand and you're sinking into the sand on the beach. And your left arm gets heavy and sinks in. And feel your hips relaxing. Entire right leg. Just feel this heaviness in your entire left leg. And travel back to your head. And let your head be heavy and sink down. Or leave an imprint in the sand. Just turn your attention back to your breath. Not changing anything, just noticing the inhalation, the exhalation. Just committing yourself to a few moments of stillness in body and mind. Letting the breath move. Draw your breath in a little bit fuller. Bring some movement into your body, wiggling your fingers slightly and your toes. You can circle your wrists and your ankles. You can reach the arms up overhead, stretching out on the floor, really tall. Awakening back to the room, to the day, and then just roll over onto your favorite side, right side or left side, and stay there for a moment. Cradling the head in your elbow, in your arm. Taking this moment before we move back and up into the day. What brings you comfort? What makes you feel safe, cozy, warm, loved? Learn to comfort yourself, learn to accept comfort, and learn to give it. Go to that special place of comfort whenever you need to. Stay as long as you wish. The healing power of comfort will make life better. And gently push yourself back up. Finding a comfortable seat once more, maybe on a blanket or a block. You can have the feet out, you can kneel, you can sit crisscross, whatever is comfortable. You can keep the eyes closed or have a soft gaze. The palms are resting on your legs. And then we bring the palms together, resting the thumb, knuckles, and the sternum. Inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. And one more time, inhaling through the nose. And sighing it out. And we're just sharing one final Om, that sacred sound, that universal sound that just encompasses all beings. We're Oming or singing, chanting the sound of Om today, just to send out some support and love and healing to the global community. We're all in this together. Inhale to Om. And then we bring the hands to our third eye center. And reminding us of non-harming and being kind in our thoughts. We bring the hands to the lips to remind us of non-harming and kindness in our words. And back to the heart for non-harming and kindness in all of our actions. Thank you so much for letting me guide you today. I'm wishing you peace, love, light, and health. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for staying with me. And maybe you're tuning in and watching this later. I just come a little closer. So please leave me comments. Ask questions if something wasn't clear. If you want to have things better explained. So next week we're going to build on what we did today. We're going to take this a little further. We bring in some more movements, some more poses to this, but we're always breaking them down. My cat is still asleep. He slept through the whole thing. I might post a picture of him later so you can see what he looks like. Again, thank you so much. Check out the Ease schedule. There are classes, live Facebook classes going on every single day. There are several, I think there are at least always 2 classes. I will be back Friday morning for gentle yoga and on Sunday night for a restorative practice and a meditation. So enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.